This question comes up time and time again when I'm teaching not just drummers, but students of other instruments too. So I thought I'd do a video on it, as I'm sure there must be more of you out there who are wondering the same thing. What's the difference between 3/4 and 6/8 time? Mathematically, they're the same. Divide 6 by 2 and you get 3. Divide 8 by 2, you get 4. So what is the difference? Let's look at what time signatures actually mean first. Time signatures consist of two different numbers that tell us how to count the music that we're going to play. The top number tells us how many beats are in each bar of music, while the bottom number tells us the note value that we should be counting those beats as. So the bottom number of a time signature is usually a 4, an 8 or a 16, which corresponds to quarter notes, eighth notes and 16th notes. 4/4 time means we have 4 quarter notes in each bar. 7/8 would mean we're counting 7 eighth notes in each bar. 15/16 would be counting 15 16th notes, and so on. Usually we try and keep the time signature as simple as possible, so you won't often see 8/8 or 16/16 as a time signature, because they are the same as 4/4. We only really use an 8 time signature when the beats in the bar don't fit into complete quarter notes. And in the same way, we only use a 16 time signature when the beats in the bar don't fit into complete eighth notes. That is, until we get to a time signature like 6/8. Why use 6/8 when all of those notes fit into 3/4? This is where simple and compound time come into it. Simple time is where the beats in the bar subdivide into two parts. So in 3/4 time, the 3 quarter notes of the bar equally subdivide into 3 groups of 2 eighth notes, and they further subdivide into 3 groups of 4 16th notes. So the pulse of each bar as you divide the notes stays as a 3. Compound time is where the beats of the bar subdivide into equal parts of 3. So 6/8 becomes 2 sets of eighth note triplets, and they further divide into 2 sets of 16th note triplets or sextuplets. This means the pulse of each bar has a 2 feel, marked out by 2 dotted quarter notes, rather than 3 standard quarter notes. So basically, a time signature of 3/4 should have 3 strong beats, while a time signature of 6/8 should have 2 strong beats. Let's try and play some grooves in both of these time signatures so we can get a better idea of how they feel. Starting with 3/4. Let's take a really basic 3/4 groove and try and develop it into something a little bit cooler. Starting off with just quarter notes to make the 3 really obvious, let's play a kick on beat 1, a snare on the 2 and 3, with a quarter note hi-hat all the way through. So this pattern is taken from a waltz, which is a ballroom dance. So it probably doesn't sound very cool at the moment. But most music in 3/4 has this pa pa kind of feel, as the first beat of each bar is stressed. So let's try and make this a little funkier. Let's start by changing the hi-hat to eighth notes. That's already starting to sound a bit more like a rock beat. So now let's add some syncopation by playing a kick on the and of 2 with the snare only on beat 3. Now we're starting to get rid of that waltzy pa pa feel. If we add another kick in on the a of 1, the 4th 16th note, things can get even funkier. Play around with this 3/4 feel and see what happens when you switch the kick and snare out on different quarter notes or eighth notes, add some ghost notes in, see how cool you can make it. Now what about playing in 6/8? So we know that 6/8 involves 2 groups of 3 notes, or triplets. So let's start off playing those triplets on the hi-hat. Now if you play a kick on the 1 and a snare on the 2, we get a basic 6/8 groove that marks out that 2-beat feel. Now add a kick to the last 8th note of the bar to give the groove a bit more of a swung feel. And we can do the same thing with the kick in the first beat to make it swing a little bit more. Then throw in an offbeat snare just before the final kick in the bar to make it a little bit more interesting. And you've got a really cool sounding 6/8 groove. Again, explore this a little bit more on your own. Experiment with the placement of the kick or the snare, add some ghost notes, add some 16th notes to the hi-hat pattern. Also, knowing the difference between these 2 time signatures is going to help you to identify them when you're listening to music. Once you know a song is in 6/8 that you're listening to, or a song is in 3/4, it's going to help you to identify what's going on within that song and learn grooves and fills from songs that you like. There's a free PDF of all of the grooves from this video. If you want to grab that, just go to the link in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.